Welcome to Sips and Side Quests, an adventure-themed podcast series where we quest to quench our thirst for knowledge. If you're new to the show, there are a few things to know. The episodes are dressed up to be their own fantasy game-inspired verbal adventures. Each segment takes place within a fictional town or the surrounding areas, and much like any great expedition, the topics of our discussions may range far and wide. I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm your co-host, Troy. Thanks for being here with us for episode 008. That's right, it's the season finale. Ooh, season 1. It's been a good one, but we're here at the end. We've got a lot of stuff to get into today. Don't forget, new episodes, actually are not going to be streaming anymore on Thursdays because the season's over. We will hit you with the season 2 announcement probably within the next few weeks from listening to this. But we're still here today. So last week, 007, there was a tavern bounty board in there. It tasked you with commenting something that meant a lot to you personally, held a special place in your heart, and seeing if other commenters could guess it. We didn't get any comments on 007 yet as of this recording, so if you're listening to this, maybe you could be the first one. Go get it done. Aside from that, though, we got something great coming to you guys today. 008 here. Darren, give us the episode rundown, would you?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I think to really help set the mood, could you give us a short refresher on how the last episode ended and, the predicament that we're about to be in?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were going to ask me that, but let's see if I can remember here as I pull up the episode outline.
Just off rip, the situation, what led to
It was a pretty jam-packed episode, so we made our way through the woods. We visited Farm to Table. That's our drunken alchemy building that we mashed together, improv-like. And then we made our way back to town where there was a lot going on. A dragon landed. We had to give up some personal treasures. And, as we were giving up some personal treasures, the town militia ran up on us, tried to arrest us. The dragon, I guess, was on our side, totally just, cooked this dude named Ned, who had a really annoying voice. And we took that moment as an opportunity to run away from the, arresters, only to be knocked unconscious by just a masked person. So we don't know where we are. We don't know, where these people have taken us, but we're about to find out. So
that's a great recap, and it really helps set the stage for where we are today. So let me tell you about today's adventure. Thanks, Troy. So today's adventure starts where all the best ones do. Not today. We're in a dark room. A darkness that the eyes never adjust to. The rigid stone floor is cold to the touch. The rhythmic pitter-patter of water droplets is our only company. The musty, humid air is harsh on the lungs with each passing breath. Time stands still in this unwelcoming place. How many hours has it been? Days? How long have we been here? We'll have to make the most of our situation. Our story starts here in this bleak dungeon. We'll have to, see what we can muster up. Just like the good old times, we'll start today with a hearty round of drinks or whatever we can scrounge up. And after that, tavern tales. Yeah, a story or two to warm the soul. We could even reminisce on what we've learned across our newest segment, New Game Plus. Yeah, that would raise the spirits, and somewhere along the way, we'll have to think of a way out. Stay with us as we seek a way out of this unwelcoming dungeon.
Dun, dun, dun.
Suddenly, an intrusive line of light invades our vision. The light hurts. It continues as the line widens to a rectangle cast on our floor. This shape outlines a figure who makes his way down the hallway. Heavy footsteps echo into the chambers as the sound grows louder yet. Silently, the individual stretches out an arm into our cell. A loud metallic thud follows, and a splash. our rations for the day. A loaf of bread, an uncooked potato, and the most disgusting tasting water you could imagine. Eagerly, we pick through my bread to find 2 small flasks. So, tell me, Troy, what are you sipping on?
Yeah, what a great transition. So my flask actually has like way better alcohol than you would expect here. They really did it up good here for me. So today, to open up the episode as well as close out the season, I have a special type of brew, right? This is going to be the Midwest IPA. This is from Great Lakes Brewing Company. I've mentioned, huh?
That's what it's called. It's just called the Midwest IPA.
Literally just called Midwest IPA. Yep. So I've mentioned Great Lakes on this podcast before, but just for a quick refresher, they are number 18 on the Brewers Association Top 50 Craft Breweries list across the U.S. For the year 2024. They're very popular here in Ohio, pretty much being in any store you could go to that sells alcohol. I think you'll find something that's Great Lakes. They're located in Cleveland, and they've been there since 1988. So, quick tidbit also, they are the official craft beer of the Cleveland Cavaliers. That is an NBA team, basketball team. So, cool little fact there. Back to the drink itself, the Midwest IPA, it's not a variation that I see often. I guess a few other breweries do produce it, but it's not like super common. But it is a great one. This one comes in at 7% ABV, so I'm feeling pretty good. I've had quite a few, more than I usually have by this point of the episode, but that's okay. The Midwestern style of IPA, which is what this is, it doesn't have any special name from Great Lakes, but it is its own style. Other breweries do produce it. It's actually a fusion drink. So it combines West Coast IPA and New England style IPA, both of which I've had actually on this show in previous episodes. It combines those into this one drink. This is a very clear, very, very bitter little brew here. I've actually not had this one before today, but I'm enjoying it immensely. It's got great citrus flavors, of course, and it goes down really smooth. So, as far as IPAs go, there's really not much else you could ask for there. So I definitely get this again, maybe on draft. Their website says that certain locations do offer this specific drink on draft, so that may be something I need to try. But yeah, just to end the season off, last variation of the pale ale there, because this has been the season of pale ales. Any thoughts there, Darren? Any comments or questions for me?
I appreciate you sticking to it the entire season. That's pretty good.
I didn't think I was going to, no, but there's like more variations than I mean, there's even more. I could probably do a season 2 with just IPA variations. I won't, but I could,
Yeah, Great Lakes is everywhere around here. They've got a lot of interesting varieties. Yeah, actually, fun fact, one of the cans that I like from them is one that shows the river on fire. And so that is actually what spurned the creation of the EPA. Richard Nixon is the one that established that.
Okay.
So Environmental Protection Agency. I could be a little bit off in the years, but I think it's interesting they've memorialized that on a can. So that they don't take themselves too seriously.
Now, I'll have to look for that one. Yeah, I didn't even know that exists. I wonder what kind of drink it is. Do you know?
That's a good question. It's probably a lager. I feel like I drink a lot of lagers.
Okay. I'll have to look for that. Yeah, I love good can art. Shout out to the Mystical Mama from 006. Love a good can art. But yeah, thanks for the extra information there. Yeah. So that's my drink. Darren, what do you got in your flask over there?
No, not today. I'm not done yet. How many beers have you had? Go ahead, tell me. It's a 6-pack, right? How many have you had?
This is my last one in the pack that I'm drinking right now.
Do you hear that, audience? You know what we say to that? We say, I respect the hustle.
We got started pretty late. It's 11 o'clock here for us. We usually start around 9. So, we had some other stuff to do today, but we're here, we're recording, and the drinks are flowing. So, and any mistakes are gonna get edited out. So don't worry about it. Darren, you had
They're
one.
not mistakes. They're just happy little accidents.
Okay.
So I've heard of a New England IPA, and you said this was a mix between a West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
Any ideas on what a West Coast IPA is? Any info on that?
Yeah. So, funnily enough, I actually did a West Coast IPA a few episodes ago. Which one was it? Oh, yeah. The Mystic Mama actually was a West Coast IPA.
Oh, okay.
So West Coast, those are the ones where it's like it's basically just like a regular IPA, but everything is like amplified. So the bitterness is turned up, the hops flavors are turned up, the alcohol percentage is turned up. So this is basically like that, what I have today. And it's like that, but with some extra influences from the New England IPA, which I believe I've also done on the show. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Yeah, let me see. Okay, yeah. It was called the Ripstop. Yeah, it was from a local brewing company. So a New England style IPA. Those are the ones that are like really juicy, really fruity. So this one I have today, the Midwest IPA, it's got the bitterness, it's got the super like strong hops flavors, but it's also very juicy, which I think attributes to its smoothness there. So it's good. Yeah. It's a really good combination.
I thought you recommended like the citrus. You know, you said you weren't like super crazy about it, but whenever it's good, it's really good. And I thought I remembered the Ripstop, so that makes sense. That's a
man, I can't think right now. It was a Tavern Tales prompt, I think, actually, right? About the what's like a drink that fails your Constitution save or something, but you'll drink anyway. Yeah, that's what it was.
The UV blue.
Well, the one I still drink, even though it fails it, is my answer was like anything citrus, which is like basically every IPA. It gives me like heartburn and stuff, but it's, the taste, you know. So
fair enough, but you know, I've interrogated you enough, so I can move on over to my portion here. So
okay,
this one's a little bit different than the other drinks I've had before. And so I thought, you know, what's the reason we're in here for? Why are we in jail? Why are we in this dungeon? Must be for crimes of passion. That's the name of my drink, Crimes of Passion.
That's a dope
my
name.
Cocktail of the week. So thought I'd include the recipe for you on here. So this one consists of 1.5 ounces of tequila, 0.5 ounces of mezcal, 0.5 ounces of lime juice, 0.5 ounces of passion fruit syrup, and 0.25 ounces of honey syrup. So, not me because I'm not fancy enough, but the glass is traditionally rimmed with tahini seasoning. And this is the most recently made cocktail I've had on the show, with the recipe only dating back to 2018, which was created by Hunter Orahood at Attaboy in New York City. Attaboy is a speakeasy style bar that was established in 2013. Light on the history, big on the taste.
Okay. I like that little tagline at the end there. Excuse my ignorance. What is mezcal?
Mezcal, so I believe there's 3 different varieties at this point, but from the plant that you get tequila from, you also get mezcal. Think of it as a more smoky tequila, and more pricey.
Okay, interesting. So it's like double tequila, but there's like a fancier tequila in there too.
Yeah, you could say that. It I don't think tequila does, but I can tell you that mezcal also comes with a worm in there, and there's a lot of people that are like weirdly superstitious about people eating the worm, because supposedly it's been soaking in there. Think of it like a grub, not like an actual like earthworm. So I had been trying to save maybe like 2 to 3 ounces to see if I would eat the worm, and I needed this drink instead. So I'm probably not going to eat the worm. Comment down below if you think you would eat the worm in mezcal.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not eating that. Is it a gummy worm or it's a real one?
Oh no, it's real.
No. Don't eat that.
Would you eat a vodka gummy bear?
Yeah, gummy bear, of course.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing.
No, this one is like a real. You said it's a grub.
Grub looking, yeah. It's like got like a white type skin about it.
Oh, please! If you don't eat that, if you do eat that, you got to record
Let me send you a
yourself.
picture.
Record your. Yeah, send me a picture. I want to see this. If you eat it, record yourself eating it, so I can see. That's
I mean,
that's
I don't know if you
nuts.
chew it. I mean, they're not a maniac, right? Like maybe you just kind of like a shot. But
Oh, you just swallow it.
I mean, I don't know. I've never tried. Like I said, I was trying to save like 2 to 3 ounces of the mezcal because there's absolutely no way I'm eating that sober.
Yeah. Well, maybe one more drink and we'll get you live on the podcast eating a mezcal infused grub.
Check out our social medias, Instagram at Sips and Side Quest Pod for the extra bonus content of me eating a worm.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Interesting drink today. I like pretty much anything that you tell me that you include like honey in. I'm immediately interested. Honey is just so good.
Yeah, the honey syrup is interesting to me. So you take 2 parts honey and 1 part water because honey is too viscous and it just essentially turns it into a fluid. So just a cute way for people to add some sweetness to a drink, I guess.
Love that. It's like wonder how that'd be in tea, like hot tea. Probably like
I had not I had not thought of a non-alcoholic application, but I think that's a good idea. I mean, you can just put like actual honey in tea and then it just dilutes, right? So
yeah, it probably turns into honey syrup just from the nature of the drink. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
There we
idea.
go. Couple good drinks today here.
Yeah, we got some drinks. We had a bit of grub. So let's move on. A brief respite in an otherwise gloomy situation. The only music amid the deafening silence is the slow trickle of water, that rhythmic pitter-patter. A far cry from the jukebox at the tavern. Even the day-old gravy could make a bountiful meal at this point. We must stay strong. We must steel our resolve. It's damp and frigid in our unwelcoming abode, but that doesn't mean we can't warm our spirits. Let's rekindle the flame with some tavern tales. So, Troy, what, on brand here, is the weirdest place you've ever been stuck waiting for help?
It's a good question. It's a hard question here. As I was thinking back on my life, I don't think I've really found myself stranded anywhere waiting for help. Not in like a real sense where I was like in danger or in a bad situation. The one answer I will give to this is it was pretty low stakes, but I think it makes for a good story anyway. I used to deliver packages for a certain big company. You know, they expressly deliver packages federally. You know, if you know what I mean.
UPS it is. Keep going.
UPS. Yeah, so I had a set route. You know, I went to the same stores every day. I was driving a big box truck. I was delivering to the same businesses every day. One of the places that I went to was Joann's. So that is I'm not sure if they're a national store or what they are, but it's like a fabric, like crafts sort of place. You know, are you familiar with Joann's, Darren?
I am personally. Think like Michael's Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, okay. It's like a Michael's, yeah. So that was one of my stops every day, and they actually, surprisingly, they had a dock, right? So they had a like big sliding door that you could back the truck into and unload there, which is surprising because it was like in a chain mall. You know, usually it's just like back doors and stuff, but they had their own dock there. Now, the bad part about this dock is it was on a decline, right? So the rest of the street was just level, but then for some reason the dock was sort of down, down a level or something. I don't know, but I had to back down this declined pavement to, line up with the dock and do the delivery. Now, 9 days out of 10, actually probably even 99 days out of 100 here, everything went smoothly. The decline doesn't really matter. I only mention it for the cause of this story here. It was a cold winter day, right? And there was a lot of ice on the pavement, on the roads. It was a very icy day. My truck got stuck on this decline trying to go up it. So I did the stop as normal at this Joann's, got all their products offloaded, closed the truck up, and then while I'm trying to get back up the incline, my tires are just spinning. Just like totally no traction at all. So the store workers come out and they're like trying to help me. I think we're trying to put like cardboard under the tires and things like that. It's not working. I'm stuck there. I've called my boss and they're like, the thing about working for these type of companies is if your truck breaks down or something happens, which is actually, a pretty common occurrence. You have a lot of drivers, you have a lot of vehicles out on the road. Things are bound to happen. Unfortunately, we don't have somebody, or they didn't have somebody working directly for the company who takes care of like breakdowns. So it was always like a third party. And if you've ever had to call any type of mechanic or tow truck or anything, it can take a while for them to get to you. So pretty much anytime anything happened, it would be, upwards of like 2 hours just sitting around waiting, which when you have like a whole route to do, is detrimental. That turns into a really long day really quick. So my boss calls a tow truck out there to try and help me out. In the meantime, I'm really, really like determined to not be stuck here for the next few hours, especially because it was cold out. And it's like I could leave the truck running, but it's going to waste a lot of gas. It's going to be a lot of fumes up into the air and things like that. And I'm not trying to sit there in the cold. So I'm stuck there waiting at a Joann's fabric store out back at their dock. It was a weird place. You said the weirdest place I've ever been stuck. That's a pretty weird place. Just for bonus, I did actually make my way out of there on my own. Before, we actually were able to call off the tow truck. And how I did that was I rocked back and forth a little bit, and then I just floored it. And I floored this thing for probably 2 minutes straight, moving like inches at a time until I finally made it up. And I got out of there. Probably like fried the engine, but I did it. And it was a weird place. And then I continued on and I finished my route. But yeah, it's the main thing that comes to mind for me. I haven't really been stuck too many places, but that was definitely a weird one.
Man, tow trucks take forever. I feel like every situation I've been waiting on a tow truck, I've got myself out of it instead because
it's like you get that extra motivation. You're like, man, I'm not sitting here for hours for this guy to come charge me hundreds of dollars to move my car,
So like a strip mall. Joann's had a dock.
Yeah. And no personal information here, but you probably know this strip mall. It's very close to where your mother lives.
I know exactly which. Well, okay, you lost me. All right, that makes more sense. They have a dock back there?
Yeah, they're the only one on that entire strip that has a dock. They have a whole dock door. They have what do they? I guess they just call them dock doors, but you know what I'm talking about. The big ones that like slide up. It's like a garage door.
Is there
almost.
A Best Buy in that plaza?
Yeah, at the other end. Okay. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. There was like 2 places I was thinking of, and you sealed it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
They have a dock. If you ever go to that strip mall, just take a cruise behind the building, and you'll see exactly the one I was stuck in. Actually,
wow, it is awful back there, dude, because they've got the speed bumps like after every single door. They removed them up front. They had the same thing because I used to sneak behind because it was the same thing. But now that there's no speed bumps up front, there's no point.
Yeah, the behind is it used to be the faster route because you could avoid all of the people that are walking out there and stuff like that. But
yeah, wow, I had no idea that they had dock back there. That's such a, I don't want to say crappy, but it's for them to only have, and I mean Joanne's going under as well, so maybe someone else will get to enjoy that dock.
Anyway, that's my weirdest place. What about you? I know you got some weird places here that you've been stuck. What's going on with these stories?
I wrote two. I was kind of having a hard time deciding between the two, so I think I'm going to tell the one, and then the other will be like a little bonus as well. But much like yours, I had car troubles, and so I was on the way to go visit the zoo. You know, I was nearly there. I was probably like maybe 7 to 8 minutes out. Car stops, middle of the road, not on a stoplight or anything, just stops. Like, okay. So, you know, we turn it off, we turn it back on, doesn't turn on. Engine doesn't turn over, nothing. The thermometer, thermometer, I guess, temperature.
Yeah, temperature.
Maxed out.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's probably the radiator. But, you know, I can't think like that right now. I'm in the middle of a road. So, you probably know this. This is the same road that your mom lived on.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay.
Yep. So it happened on that road. And so thankfully I was like right next to one of the like offshoot roads, but
so
like,
really
I threw it in neutral. I'm like, I need to push, but I can't steer. So, you know, I had person who I was with steer for me, and then it still wasn't working very well. I mean, cars are heavy, you know, so oddly, like 2 or 3 people, one person who was walking on the street, and then a car that was behind us, they got out and helped me push.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, real thoughtful. But they helped me push it, and we pushed off to like a side street, and I'm like, okay, well, clearly this is not going to work. So I let it cool off for like 5-10 minutes. Still doesn't start. That's when it's time to call the tow truck. So, you know, we'll say like an hour and a half later. In that hour and a half, we're parked in front of someone's house, and they are super nosy. I'm watching them sit in the window, like watching us. Someone came out on the porch and sat on their porch swing just to be super nosy. Like, I don't want to be in this situation, and they don't want me to be in this situation.
Oh, I hate that. Why, dude? Did they say anything to you, or they were just being weird?
They were just being weird. They were just being super nosy because, like, you know, I was effectively parked in front of their house, but I didn't have like headlights on or anything. And it's like, I mean, you can call the cops. I mean, maybe the cops will get here before the tow truck does.
What time was it? Like nighttime? It was dark out?
It didn't start that way, but it got that way. So I think like 7 o'clock turned 8:30.
Yeah. Man, people are weird, dude. They couldn't like at least be like, "Are you okay?" Like, they just sat there and watched you.
I get it. I mean, it was kind of weird that we were in front of their house, but so like after, you know, like maybe an hour, 70 minutes of waiting for the tow truck, surprise, surprise, the tow truck still doesn't show up.
Nice.
You know, like I tried calling and they're like, "Yeah, we'll get him there." So,
they'll be there tonight at some point.
Yeah, hopefully. I tried turning the car on again, and it started because it had cooled off enough.
Oh my god!
So I'm watching the temperature gauge, and it starts to like slowly work its way up. I didn't get out of the car at this point because I'm like, I do not want to get out of the car. So what I did, I'm sick of waiting for the tow truck. I made an executive decision. I drove only on the back streets, and I would stop the car after maybe like every, we'll say like 500 feet, and like let it cool off a little bit, sit there for like 5 minutes, park alongside the road. I did that for probably about 2.5 miles until I got to the mechanic. As I watched the temperature gauge, because I'm like, I am sick of waiting for this. Turns out, and you may have already guessed this, it was the radiator.
Wow.
Totally ruined my zoo night, though.
Wow. Yeah. That's funny. I've done a similar thing with one of the other work trucks that I was doing. It kept overheating as well, and I did the same exact thing where it would die, and I would sit on the side of the road for a few minutes, and then I'd drive for like a mile, and then it'd turn off again. Yeah. I mean, that's really a testament to how slow these tow trucks are. What are they doing? You know, what are they so busy doing here?
What do they even pay them? Yeah, what are they doing? Maybe they're stuck in weird places.
Oh man, that's a good contribution to the Tavern Tales, though. Very.
But I've got a bonus for you.
Okay.
So this one is not car themed. In second grade, and you may have a memory of this. I'm not going to speak in specifics, but our elementary school had a jump rope team where they would do like tricks and stuff, and it was a full thing. Like they would compete. So they had tryouts. Simple enough. So non-athletic me had to go try out. So I went and tried out. How many times can I say try out? Take a drink for every time I've said try out. We're at like 6 or 7 now. So if you can't keep listening because you've blacked out, I understand. But I'm in there, I try out. I did not do well. I did not make the team, needless to say, but I got overheated. I don't know if I had like enough water that day or what have you, but I was unwell. So I sat in the hallway with a garbage can next to me, tossed my cookies a time or two.
Oh.
But the worst part of this, now mind you, this is a pretty weird place to be stuck, outside of the gymnasium. Well, in elementary school, you line up and then you walk and you go back to your classroom. I had multiple classrooms walking past me while I was sat there with the garbage can in the hallway, and I will never forget it.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, no one else remembers it at this point, but it's the type of thing where I wake up at like 3 in the morning in a cold sweat.
Yeah, now it's going online for anybody to hear. That's great.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Man, you totally jogged my memory. I totally forgot that group existed. The Hoppers, right?
That's right. That's
yeah,
right,
the girl that I had a crush on in kindergarten made that team, and I thought she was so cool for that.
Yeah,
they were like really prestigious within the school. Darren and I went to the same elementary school. For those who don't know us, we've been around the block. But man, wow, what a memory. Okay, nice bonus. Very cool.
Yeah, second grade also where I had the core memory. I forget what episode that was, but earlier this season we talked about core memories. So I had some highs, I had some lows that year.
Core memories, as some would say.
But that's a good bit of being stuck in weird places. Let's get on with it and see what else we can find in this depressing prison cell. I'm glad to see you're feeling better. Who could that possibly be? The voice is unfamiliar yet reassuring. How did they make their way in here without a sound? Past all the guards. We would have heard them walking in. Unless... No. They were here all along. The door opening. The heavy footsteps bringing in the contraband rations. This is who we've been waiting for all along. A loud creaking sound intrudes the room, followed by metallic crunching. The tall individual steps into our cell through the newly opened bars. Pardon the entrance. I couldn't find a key anywhere. Let's get going, you two. The figure hoists us onto their opposing shoulders in one swift motion. We're in no state to protest. The meager rations have left us depleted and frail. This is our hope, our rescue. The individual calmly walks out of the building whilst passing an immeasurable amount of guards left knocked out cold. No one bothers us as we make our escape. There's no one left here to do so. Hup, in you go. I'll be your getaway driver in addition to breaking you out. I know, I'm incredibly talented. Hold your applause, thank you. Why don't you tell us about yourselves while we make our way back? Anything is better than that hellish prison. If a story is payment for our freedom, then let us regale them. We'll recount a time where we failed previously and how we'd handle it now, which brings us to our newest segment, New Game Plus. Alright, so how this works, we're each going to tell our failure story, and then the other will have to say how we'd handle it now. And we'll follow up with how we'd think we'd handle it on our own. So, Troy, What's a situation that you missed on the first time, but if it happened again today, you'd excel?
Ah, yes. A great question.
Indubitably.
So, what's funny about this question is I feel like it implies deepness, right? I feel like it's asking about a deep cut and, wanting to really get into it here. Funnily enough, my example is not that. This is a pretty light situation, but it's the first one that came to mind. It's actually, you know what? It's not the first one that came to mind, but it is the best one that came to mind for this story here. So, man, there's some background I got to give here. I, for a long time, was really into the video game Madden. Now, hopefully if you're listening to this, you've at least heard of Madden. Super popular game. NFL, football, it's been around forever, so hopefully you know it. If not, a quick Google search will do you good. But I played quite a lot, probably more than most people have in their lifetimes. I was really big into it, to the point where I was part of numerous, they're called CFMs, right? Connected Franchise Mode. So that's where, to give an example, an offline version would be you would go into a league, you'd pick your team, and then you'd play through the season. You'd have a schedule, you'd be able to manage your roster, all the sorts of things like that. A connected franchise is basically when you can play with other people online. So I was in numerous leagues where, we'd have 32-man leagues where every team was occupied by a real person. And it was really fun because every game you would play would be against a real person, and we were in a big Facebook group chat, and you'd get in each other's DMs and make trades and talk about different players, and there was drama within the league about who's going to make playoffs, and there were rivalries and stuff. It was really fun, and that was a big part of my life for a while. And it was actually so big a part of my life that I tried to make my own connected franchise league. I was an admin in multiple ones at the same time, so I sort of had an idea of what I was doing. I had one of my real life friends in the league with me, and he ended up really not liking the league. He thought the management was corrupt, which is interesting because I was part of the management. But he was always thinking there was some sort of corruption going on because the owner of the league happened to also be really good at the game, so they were always winning a lot and just making playoffs every year, and had a really good team. So my one friend, he thought there was some sort of corruption going on. Now, I deny that. I was part of the management team. I saw all the trades coming in. That wasn't the case. But anyway, he ended up unhappy with it, and I was like, okay, how about me and you, we make our own league, right? Now, this ended up being a great mistake for me. And it ended up in a failure, which is the theme of this question. And I think I just wasn't ready to actually create my own thing and be responsible for all of that stuff, because what happened was it kind of caused a rift in between me and the leagues I was in, right? Because you got to think, I was part of these leagues and I was part of the management in multiple leagues for a while, and then I left both of those leagues to go create my own, so they kind of took it as oh, now he's competition. And what's funny is I didn't really know. I didn't want to recruit randoms into the league, so I recruited from the leagues I was already in, which was a mistake because they took it as I was just kind of going and doing my own thing and trying to steal their users. So we got the league full. We started the games. My friend who did it with me was not as involved as I wanted him to be, and that was frustrating to me. And people kept dropping out of the league really early on for no reason, and trying to find replacements was super annoying. And so then one guy just left for literally no reason, and he was somebody who I had expected to not leave. And that really just kind of tilted me. And I just said, you know what, forget it. And so I just left the league myself, the one that I was the creator of. And yeah, I mean, it just fell apart from there. Everybody was super confused. Like, did the owner really just leave? But I was like, yeah, this was a mistake. And I realized it pretty early on, and I just bailed. So definitely some stuff I could handle better. If I were to go do that again, I think I would do a lot better job. But before I get into that, Darren, based on what I just told you, how would you handle a situation like that?
Wow. So just fantasy football on steroids, really?
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Except you're the one also like responsible for creating the stats, right? Which makes it even more fun.
Okay. That's that's an interesting element. I feel like there's a lot of ways you could have gone with this in terms of like trying to do it again and how you would have reapproached it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're a pretty reasonable guy. I think you would have tried to talk it out with your friend and like figure out what his grievances were. So maybe you could see if you could correct them, having been on like part of that management, to really get to the core of the issue and assessed it from there. I can't imagine you would have tried to start your own at this point with this knowledge.
Yeah, it's just a lot of responsibility. It's kind of like another job, honestly. Not only just creating everything, but managing the league, because there's all different trades going through. There's drama. There's people that need questions answered and things done for them, and it's just every single day. It's actually like more work than you would think. In that situation specifically, I shouldn't have even tried to create the league, and I think I only did it because my friend was unhappy. You are right. I don't think I ever approached him with the intent of having like a deeper conversation about what was going on. I just kind of wanted to keep him involved, so I just did what I felt was necessary. But I feel like I've grown past that now to the point where I probably could have been like, if you're not having fun, then, it's okay if you leave and we're still friends regardless. But back then I just wanted him to have fun in something that I was passionate about. So I think that was my big mistake there, was just focusing too much on, somebody else's wants over my own. You know what I mean?
It's hard to be a people pleaser. I mean, you got to exist for others to a certain extent, but you have to look out for yourself first and foremost.
Absolutely. That's a good point. So
I have a similar experience. Not segueing here, but rather a digression. So same energy. There's this MMO called Neverwinter, and so I made a guild, and it was a very successful guild. It was like, I think the maximum cap was 200 people, and it was that. It was constantly that. People wanted to join all the time. The whole idea behind the guild was there was an issue with people kicking. You would get into, these game lobbies of 4 or 5 people, and all it took was 2 votes to kick you. It was something to that effect, and I hated that. And so what I tried to do is I tried to make this guild where you could run with these people, and they wouldn't just kick you arbitrarily and screw you over. To the point where I felt like I didn't have enough time to play it anymore, so I handed off the reins to someone that would continue it. And they did. And they handed off the reins again. And it still exists, which I think is really cool. But getting back to the point of, it's a lot to manage other people, and it takes a different angle. You don't get to enjoy the game as much. It's more of like an administrative thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of work running something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was like there was a community bank. I mean, I had to make sure people were active, same energy.
Definitely.
But
that's cool that it's still around, though. When's the last time you checked in with them?
So, obviously, Discord exists. Everyone knows about Discord. But at the time, I wasn't very familiar with Discord, so I was looking for like a website we could use, and it was like forums. It was called Shivtar, I think. So that's what I used. And that's how I know that they got a Discord, because I had gone on there and I still had like some permissions and everything. But yeah, I mean, they're still going. I think I checked them as recently of like 6 months ago. They kind of lost a bit of their purpose, and that was my struggle, because the actual devs for that game fixed the kicking issue. So that was my struggle, is like, well, what's the purpose of this? But That was a pretty good time. That's when I was staying up way too late.
That's man, that ties in really well to my story as well. That was really cool.
Yeah, I thought so. I definitely don't think I'd have the time to run one now, but that was fun. Actually, some of my best friends in the guild were like Ireland, UK, because I would stay up until like 5 in the morning.
Oh my!
And they would be awake at that time. Yeah,
you know, that's a cool aspect of gaming. Yeah, I also in the Madden leagues we had guys from like the UK and stuff who were on totally different times. But it's just cool to like play with like international people. You know, it just feels cool to me.
But it got me in trouble because I'd hang out with people on the East Coast. We'd stay up till midnight, and then I'd hang out with the people from the West Coast, and we'd stay up until like, midnight their time. That's 3 a.m. for me. Well, whenever we hit 3 a.m., the people that are, in the UK, Ireland, what have you, Scotland, they're waking up. So I have no reason to get off because I've got continued interaction.
Man, I miss those days of just staying up ridiculously late for no reason.
Those were good.
Yeah.
Definitely wasted a few summers, but getting back to the prompt here, I don't think this is going to be as deep of a cut as it could be because I don't want to get too far into my psyche. But just to remind the listeners, what's the situation that you missed on the first time, but if it happened again today, you'd excel? College. I did not have a good first go around in college for many reasons.
Or second, right? That's what you said. I'm only saying that because you said that the other episode.
No, you're good. It's like ongoing.
Okay. Okay.
No, you're good. I think I'll get to it. So, I went to this school, and, I went to one of the branch campuses because I didn't quite have the grades to make it, straight to the main campus. And so I made it to the main campus after, no problems, not a big deal, not like a straight A student or anything along those lines, but not a lot of schools are there for you to pass. Schools aren't there to teach you, not their main purpose. There's a fair amount of schools, and I guess I don't have a large sample size, but at least this school, I didn't learn anything. They just taught you on the absolute hardest material they could. You would, take a calculus exam, and they would apply those concepts on pages that are very rarely turned to, which doesn't feel like a good application of the material. They were weed out classes. That's what they were. So it was a bad environment. I was living in a college apartment, which was very close to campus, which was its only benefit. The window I had, it was a big window, overlooked another building 6 feet away, so there was no natural light whatsoever. I got depressed. And if you're doing bad in classes, you're already depressed. It was an awful cycle. There's Troy can attest to this. There's a lot of good campus food, and when I say good, I mean good tasting but bad for you.
I was gonna say, sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say, you said that the only pro to the college apartment was that it was close to campus. It was pretty close to a really good sandwich shop. That's what I was gonna say. It was within walking distance of some fire food spots. That's a pro in my eyes. Maybe in your eyes, I think it's a con, and I think that's what you're getting into. But
yeah, well, and the main problem is it was 2 blocks away. I should just walk to it. I had it delivered pretty regularly because the delivery was like maybe $1, and so I was like, oh well, that's easy. So that really contributed to it as well. So I wasn't getting out as much. I was drinking 151 rum daily.
Oh my God.
Mixed with orange juice and Sprite. Yeah, stay tuned for that episode where I go back to that.
Orange juice and Sprite. That's a wild one.
Yeah.
You have to do that one episode for a throwback.
I think I could. I don't know if I could host that episode. I think I would be
finished
within a segment or 2.
I'll take the reins just so you can do that.
On today's episode, depression juice. But all these factors culminated, and I started to like, all right, I got to do better. So I had one semester, my prove it semester. So what do? I go against what my advisors say. I take 4 of the hardest classes I can possibly take because I need to get back on track. Surprise, surprise, they were right. And I flunked out of college.
Oof. R.I.P.
Yeah. Yep. So that's pretty much the portion of the story, but just to follow up on that, I went to a community college after, and I ended up getting straight A's. And the one professor, the math professor, actually ended up writing me a recommendation, so I was allowed back in that school. So that's positive.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
You know,
shout out to that professor.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great guy. And so that brings me to what I could have done differently. You know, what would I do these days? How would I handle this situation currently? What are your thoughts? What would I do to improve my situation?
For me, current day me in this situation where I'm like struggling in school and struggling with depression and
oh no, how would I handle it? How do you think I would handle it?
Oh, how would you handle it today?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I misunderstood the prompt here. You did do that for me though, right? No, I got it. Sorry, these drinks are hitting, dude. I told you they were 7%ers. But okay, what would you do today? I think since then, this was quite a while ago. Better part of a decade.
Borderline a decade. Yeah.
You today, I think you have a better mindset about things, and I think you had a choice in which courses you took, right? Back then?
Yeah.
So you kind of chose to do the hardest ones, is that correct?
For that final semester, yes, but I mean the courses in general were pretty rigorous.
I think maybe you would have spread it out today. If current you today was faced with this situation, I think you would have maybe not taken all the hardest ones at once and maybe been like, yeah, you know, maybe I'll just take like 1 or 2 hard ones and it's okay if it takes an extra semester. And then for food, the food situation, I think it seems like you have a better handle on that and like, you know, the drinking and things like that. I think it just came with experience. You know, you can't live like that forever. So I think present day you would you know, maybe still eat out occasionally, but make a better effort, I guess, to improving your mental health so that those other 2 things improved with it. Those would be my guesses as to how you'd handle it. How do you think you would handle it today in a similar situation?
I definitely think you hit on a key element: balance. You know, there's such a thing as like racing to get to the finish. It sounds great. But as generic and old as the story is, the tortoise wins the race.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, yeah, I would definitely pace it out differently. You know, maybe I'd put like a hard class with like some gen ed classes. You know, I've got better study habits. You know, I'd chunk it out. I definitely used to be a big procrastinator. I still am, but less. So
procrastinate positively, right? That's what you said the other episode.
Okay, I call it incubating. I read an article on this.
Okay.
Yeah, so procrastinators wait till the last minute. Incubators wait till the last minute. But they've thought about it, you know, so they've already got something working in their head. They just need to put it on paper. I'm an incubator.
I'm the same way. I'll have it all planned out in my head the exact way I want to do it, but I'll have nothing to show for it. But then when I go to actually create it, it's like boom, 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 boom. Done.
Yeah.
You know, because I've already thought about it. I feel like that's a good way to do it, though. Are we wrong for thinking that?
Let us know in the comments down below. Are we just procrastinating and we put a cute name with it? Yeah. The food element, I think if I were to be there and the prices were the same, I would absolutely continue to eat there every single day.
No.
Forget that.
Okay.
But the prices are double, so there's no way.
What were the prices back then? Like $7 or $8 for a sandwich?
Yeah, it was like $7.50, $8 a sandwich.
That is an insane.
They're constantly like $15 now.
Dude, $7 or $8 for one of those sandwiches is insane price.
Yeah, so just so you know what we're talking about, audience, they've got chicken tenders, they've got fries, mozzarella sticks, marinara, all on one sandwich.
They just throw all of that between a sub bun. It's pretty crazy. It's good though. It's good. Or at least it was back then. I don't know if it is now, but
Definitely drunk food. I think I've had them a few months back. They're still pretty good. They're just a little pricey.
you had them while drunk or sober?
I don't think you can have them all sober.
Ah,
I definitely have some fond memories there. There'd be like college students, and the one person be walking around semi-sober, and then the other person could barely stand. Just it's what the shop warranted.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Taco Bell where, or like a Waffle House. We talked about that the other episode where it's like you don't really go there unless it's like late at night and you're drunk, So,
Same energy.
Same energy, for sure.
Also, just to cap it off, I would get out more. Like, instead of sitting in the house just for the convenience, I would go enjoy the greenery. I would enjoy the sun. Like, it's so much better for your mental health.
Mm-hmm. You were in a really good area to just kind of walk around the neighborhoods, too. That would probably be just like a nice walk.
Yeah, and I mean, I was maybe like 2 blocks away from a green space that I could just like lay on. I mean, even if I went to, there's like libraries with great views, literally anything I could have done. There was a huge bus system. I could have gone multiple places.
Yeah, I mean, depression though,
Yeah, manifest in different ways. I just can't find the motivation to shower some days, but
yeah,
we live with it.
Relatable. Comment below if you also can't find the motivation to shower some days.
Comment below if you're depressed. Hashtag millennial.
This is our most popular episode ever. Just like 99 comments immediately.
The title is just watch this if you're depressed.
Yo, that's a good. Yo, that might be it. That's the finale title.
That's the one. Then the other episode was laughing, did really well. So we'll just be like laughing emoji.
Okay.
Oh funny. Man. Okay, cool. But bringing it back in. Those were good stories. Let's see how our rescuer feels about our stories. The figure nods approvingly as we continue on. Muddy puddles scatter beneath the wooden wheels of our carriage. The rickety frame beneath us translates every hole and rut in the road to bump after bump. Our bodies hurt from the prolonged captivity, and this only exacerbates it until the carriage comes to an abrupt halt. The sound of several horses neighing and stomping in the distance can be heard. What a fine bunch we have here. What business do you have with us? The response is muffled from where we lay. You'll have to see what they think of that. They're big boys. They can make their own choices. The carriage jostles as we feel our savior stepping off the front. They come back and pull the door open. Rise and shine, you two. We've got company. So make sure you're looking your Sunday best. This fellow outside says he has some business with you. This is the first time we've had a chance to truly observe our savior. He's this absolute Adonis-looking individual. His long blonde hair flanks his chiseled jawline. The rest of his body is sculpted, as if it had been carved from marble. It's no surprise he made short work of the guards back at the prison. Why is he helping us? What does he have to gain? No time for questions now. He beckons us out of the carriage and hands us a small vial. One for each of us. The vial is no bigger than a thumb. A wax seal embossed with a sun adorns the top. The liquid inside shifts color as it is swished. It appears pale green like fresh clover, or soft gold like early morning sunlight. Take this breath of spring. If things go south, it'll fix you right up. Just know that you'll suffer consequences. We trust what our Savior has to say, and carefully uncork the potion. The aroma carries a scent that is impossibly nostalgic. It smells like fresh rain on warm earth, wildflowers on a breeze, the clean air after a thunderstorm, all in one. We both down the inviting elixir. It slips down like chilled water, then blooms with a warmth. Our muscles ache for a moment before stretching and strengthening. Bruises fade, breath deepens, vision sharpens. It doesn't erase the fatigue, instead, it restores us to the person we were before we were broken. The feeling is invigorating. We share a knowing glance as we confront what stalled the carriage. A mountain of a man sitting atop a magnificent horse, his upper lip warmed by a bushy mustache. His body covered in scars. We know this individual from somewhere. Episode 2, where Troy spilled a beer on him. Episode 5, where he threatened us from across the tavern. This is the bandit leader. Prepare for a chance encounter. The bandit leader draws his weapon. It's clear that he's not here for words. You draw your dagger and my sword follows. Roll for initiative.
Ooh, here we go. All right, I'll go ahead and roll for initiative first here. Here we go. Okay, that is a nat 1. So
don't worry, with your modifier, you have a 3.
Okay. Could have been worse.
Right?
Depends on your modifier.
Okay.
Oh, wow, he gets an 18. Okay.
18.
So, wow. So it looks like Darren gets to go first, Bandit Leader going second, and myself going last here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks to be. All right, well, I will approach... Wait. Now I gotta cast all my spells first, right? You know how it goes. So, for those of you following it at home, I'm playing a blade singing wizard. So, you know, a little bit of spells, a little bit of smack. So we're gonna start off with casting Mage Armor, which gives me 13 AC plus my Dexterity modifier. My Dexterity modifier is 3, gives me 16. And then we are going to bonus action. We are going to use Blade Singing, which lasts for 1 minute, and all of the qualifiers I do meet. What happens is you gain a bonus to your AC equal to the Intelligence modifier. So this is on top of Mage Armor. Walking speed increases by 10. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Have advantage on Dexterity checks, and a bonus to any Constitution saving throw. So, keeping track at home, I have a 3 for my Intelligence modifier as well. That puts me at a 19 AC, and that is my turn.
Good.
Which brings us to
Lord.
the... Not bad, right?
19 AC is insane. You're a sorcerer? Wow.
Wizard.
Wizard.
Close.
Sorry. Still, 19 AC for wizard is crazy.
Yeah, so the bandit captain's going to see that. They're not interested in all of those shenanigans. They're going to come over to me, and they're going to make attack. So they get 3 melee attacks. 2 with their scimitar, and 1 with their dagger.
Okay. Let's see what he can do here.
So we've got scimitar, and dagger. So their first one does hit with a 19. Their second scimitar with a 14 does not hit, and their last dagger with a 14 does not hit. But that scimitar is going to make a puncture.
Ooh.
We've got 6 damage into my health. That's a rough start.
Yikes. Yeah, you can't have much health over there, huh?
As a wizard, no, we don't come with that. But that brings us to your turn. What are you going to do, Troy?
Okay, yeah, so it looks like he's facing you head on here. Are we playing with flanking advantage rolls here? Rules, rather?
Well, that sounds beneficial. Yeah, let's go with flanking rules.
Yeah.
Because he's got like a posse around him. You know, there's a bunch of other bandits, but he's not paying much attention, which you have to draw a straight line across, so you'll be on the other side of him.
Gotcha. So I'm going to sort of run around him to the back and hope he doesn't notice me here because he's so focused on Darren. And once I'm behind him, I now have advantage, and I will try to stab him from behind, probably in the ribs, right? Let's try and puncture a lung here. I think that's how you take down the big guys like this, is you attack their weak points, right? So if he can't breathe, he can't swing the weapon. So I'm going to do a dagger attack here. Let's see if we can get a hit in. And there goes the roll. Looking at a 16. Does a 16 hit this bandit leader?
Ooh. Do you have anything else?
Not at the moment, I don't think.
Okay, well, good news is 16 does hit. Roll for damage.
Okay. All right. So because I have advantage, I do get sneak attack damage as well, which is an extra d6 onto the damage roll here. So let me go ahead and roll for damage. For the dagger, that's going to be 1d4 plus 2. And then let me roll my extra d6 here. Let's see what our extra damage is. That's going to be a 2 on the d6. So a total of 5 damage towards the bandit leader, which isn't a lot, but it's something. So
it's a start. So you go in with your dagger, and you aim for his lungs, and the bandit leader is startled by this, didn't expect you to come up behind, thought you would maybe take your turn and wait to attack him in a reasonable manner. So what happens is you go to stab him and you go for the lungs, but you just slightly miss and you stab him in the ribs, which is still a glaring pain in the bandit leader's side, and not quite the lungs that you are aiming for, but still a very jarring interaction for him as he winces in pain.
Okay. We got him.
Yeah, we got one.
Okay.
All right. But now that I'm set up, it's time for me to finally play the game.
Finally.
Let's see here. So traditionally what I should be doing, right, is since I have spells, I should be waiting to figure out, what I'm going to cast until my turn. That sounds completely reasonable.
Surely.
Yeah, that's how a wizard's played. You're supposed to wait as long as possible. That's what you should do.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and take my turn. And I will do an attack with my rapier.
A rapier attack. Here we go.
But with a little bit of extra flavor. So the rapier glows a bright red. Flames start coming from it as I cast Booming Blade. Booming Blade is the bread and butter of the blade singing wizard. It allows you to still make your weapon attack, but if the individual you're attacking moves, they take a d8 of thunder damage. So as long as and they have to move willingly, you can't push them out of it. That would be very cheaty. But we're going to keep that in there as well, just to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere, because we've got him right where we want him.
That we do.
So with my rapier, I saw where you hit, and recurring damage has got to be the best strategy. So I look to stab him exactly where you did, right in the ribs, to see if I can make any damage.
Ooh, okay. Nat 20.
So yeah, with our flanking advantage here, we've got the nat 20. Very pathetic critical roll. We only got 1 out of this, but nonetheless, we've got the 9 plus 1. We've got 10 damage going into the bandit leader, as that same spot is very critically injured, and they're holding one hand over their side now. They're having to juggle their scimitar and their dagger, as there's a little bit of blood starting to trail down their shirt.
He's bleeding.
It's a good start.
He's bleeding, but he's not bloodied, right?
But if correct, if it bleeds, we can kill it though. So that's good news.
That is good news.
So we have got the bandit captain's turn up now. The bandit captain doesn't appreciate you sneaking up behind them, so the bandit captain is going to go ahead and twirl around almost as if in a tornado.
No.
And 2 scimitar attacks are going to go your way, followed by a dagger. So we've got a 16, a 10, and an 8. Do any of those hit?
Ooh, only the 16 hits. Thank goodness. Let's see what he's got for me.
That could have been bad. Let's see what kind of tornado damage you're going to take here. You've got 7 slashing damage.
Okay, there we go. So that is a substantial amount of damage for me, who is a level 2 rogue. We maybe should have picked at least one higher HP sort of class, but
no,
it's all good.
You know what they say. Tanks are wasted space. So anyways, moving on to your turn, what are you going to do to the bandit leader? He just took a glaring blow at you.
Yeah, he's really kind of made me angry with this, so I'm going to try and slash my daggers right at his neck. I want to just end this. How dare he turn on me like this? You know, he was focused on you. Why does he need to turn around to me? Why can't he just keep focusing on you and just let me keep stabbing him from behind? You know, kind of selfish if you ask me. So unfortunately all I have is the dagger here with me, so I'm going to go to that again and see, can we get a hit? A 15. No, actually it's advantage, so it's a 17, and I know a 17 hits because the 16 hit.
Yes, you do.
So
yeah, the 17 does hit. Roll for damage.
Let's go ahead and roll for damage. We do have sneak attack damage as well. 3 regular damage, and then 2 from the sneak attack. Another 5 damage here. So, not too bad. And you know, because he's facing me now, I do think I'm going to have to apologize to you, Darren, but I'm going to have to bonus action disengage here. Because I don't have a lot of HP to be given away here. So, I have a movement of 30 here, so
just keep in mind that we're encircled by bandits, so you can't go too far.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of circle around here and kind of position myself behind you so that you're in front of me. The wizard is in front of me. So
what has happened here? So Troy attacked the bandit captain around the neck and took a good chunk out of the side of the bandit captain's neck. There's definitely a bit of, a trickle of blood going down now from the ribs on the side and from the neck as well. And happy with his work and panicked for his life, Troy runs around. So removing the flanking advantage that we had previously, but as a rogue does, cowering for their own safety.
You're right.
Which
he's right.
Which brings us to the tank of the party, the wizard. That does free up some space for me to do some interesting things. So the clothing that the bandit captain is wearing looks very flammable, as I'm sure most clothing is. So we're gonna go ahead and do Burning Hands.
Ooh, a spell.
Yeah, so Burning Hands, what this does is each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw, which could not help me out. But a creature takes 3d6 damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. The fire ignites any flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. So let's take a look here and see if the save is made by the bandit captain. It's going to be dexterity with a whopping 6.
Ooh.
Things are about to light up real pretty.
Let's see the damage here.
3d6 for the damage with the most pathetic roll I could have asked for, a 4.
It's a 3d6. It's a roll of a 1, a 2, and then another 1. Almost as bad as it could get.
Dismal. But, nonetheless, it's a little bit of damage. So maybe I helped him out by cauterizing some of the wounds we've caused. But that's about as far as we got.
Well, it is a 15-foot cone. You think any of the little bandit leaders on the outside, maybe they got singed a little bit? Not the leaders,
there's
but the
one
members.
guy in the distance that has a great beard, and the tip of his beard is slightly flaming, but he hasn't noticed because he's too interested in what's going on.
Yeah, okay. He's locked in. That's my dude. Okay.
He's got like popcorn and he's like, this is really good.
This is a great fight. Okay.
But that brings us back to the bandit captain who you've escaped from, and he's got a very easy target in me. So he's going to go ahead and turn back around in his tornado with his newly cauterized wounds. He's got both of his hands, and he's going to go for a scimitar attack, and he's going to go for a dagger attack. So what we have got here, one scimitar for a 14, one scimitar for a 19, and then last but not least, a dagger for a natural 1.
Okay. So you hit one of them on you.
Yeah, let's take a look and see what the damage is.
Yeah, let's see.
4 slashing damage. That's not so bad. That feels fair, seeing as how I wasted a spell slot on 4 damage.
Yeah, that was... So
definitely could have come out worse.
That was a bad
it's the role of me as a tank to take all the damage, so that's what I do.
To be fair, you do have a 19 AC.
With a little bit of work, yeah.
Versus my 13. I think it's only fair you stand in front of me.
I mean, that's on you. You'll have to beef that up in later seasons. But for now, that is the end of the bandit captain's turn, and it comes to the rogue.
Okay, the rogue. Does it seem possible to position myself behind him again, realistically, without him attacking me?
He's going to attack you if you end your turn in range of him. That said, you would not get sneak attack damage. He's very aware of you now.
Okay, no attack of opportunity or anything. I guess I'll just have to go to a regular position then. Let's go ahead and move my token here. No sneak attack damage, so there's really no reason to... actually, maybe for you. I'll move a few more feet. I'll position myself around him to give you the advantage. And, so at least he's not facing me. I think he'd still be facing you because I'd be kind of just quickly moving around him here. Man, I think I'll go for his shoulders this time, right? I think there's a lot of tendons and things up there that roll down into the arms. So maybe if we can sever something up there, he can lose use of one of his arms. So he seems to be a righty. Let me try and slash some sort of tendon in his shoulder up there with my dagger here. See if we can do any damage. Here comes the roll. I'm rolling good on these attacks, dude. That's a 19. So, we get damage. No sneak attack damage this time, but we do get 4 piercing damage. Okay, not a bad roll there. So, there it is. 4 piercing damage to the man's shoulder.
All right, so you go in there with your dagger almost surgically, and there's nothing about you whacking. It's just very methodical. You're a scalpel, very precise. How you go to stab, and suddenly his shoulder goes limp. The other arm just looking fine, but he can't do anything. He looks down at it and grunts as he tries to move his right arm, and nothing happens.
Yes.
He will no longer be able to use his dagger. He will only get 2 scimitar attacks.
Yeah, okay. Very cool. And I could bonus action disengage, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stand here and give you the attack advantage here. Let's see what you can do.
That's very kind of you. We're going to have to see if this pans out for you, because I have to imagine he's probably not going to be happy about losing access to one of his arms. We'll have to see.
What's he going to do about it, though? He's only got a lefty. He's only got the left arm. What's he going to do?
I mean, he might stab you. But...
Is he going to pull a Rick Grimes and bite me in the neck? Let's find out.
Bite your ear off like Tyson.
Ooh.
Let's see here. All right. So we've got some choices.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that the bandit leader needs to die. You got to figure out how that's gonna work. So I think I've got to hold on to my spell slots for now. We'll go for another booming blade. I don't imagine that they're going to be moving, but we got to keep them locked in. Stay over here with the tank,
Yes.
So
I wholeheartedly agree.
I bet. So we're going to go for the booming blade into the rapier, which hits because of the advantage. That's much appreciated. It was going to be an 11, but we've got 16 with advantage because of flanking rules into a 5. So we are making some damage here. We're making moves. Will it be enough? Stay tuned.
Find out next episode. No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
On Sips and Side Quests.
The man, I'm glad I stayed there for the flanking advantage. You wouldn't have hit otherwise.
No, that would have been pretty bad.
Yes, it would have.
All right, so we've got Bandit Captain, who's already facing me. Doesn't feel very inclined to spinning around. There's a sharp shooting pain in their shoulder, so they're going to wildly flail at me to make 2 scimitar attacks since they are not able to use their dagger. So let's see what we've got here. This could be fatal.
Ooh, wow. 2 scimitar rolls, a 19 and a 24. Both are going to hit Darren.
That's rough.
That is...
I don't know if I make it out of this. So I'm going to have to cast a shield spell, which isn't going to quite save me. My shield spell is going to add 5 to my AC, which puts me at a 24. Stops the 19 from hitting, but the 24 is definitely going to shred me.
Okay, let's see
take
what
a look.
happens. This guy has some high attack rolls. Ooh, 5 slashing damage.
You know, I thought through this. Maybe I'm going to improv it and see what works. I will not lie to you. I started this fight with 16 health, and I have 6 left. This was one of the closest hits it could have been.
Wow.
I am down to 1 hit point.
Bloodied, to say the least.
Yeah, barely hanging on. In fact, going through wildly flailing with the scimitar, I'm not able to understand the attack pattern, and in a frightened fashion, I cast shield on myself because I have no idea how to block this, but it turns out that the wild movement is much more than I can predict, and one of the scimitars slashes lands directly in my side, leaving a gash as I cough up blood. And I'm not feeling too well, but what are you bringing to the table?
What am I bringing to the table?
That's right.
Well, I'm still behind him. He hasn't turned to face me. I'm going to have to make him pay for that. So we already took out 1 arm. I think if we could try and take out both arms here, we neutralize the threat quite a lot, right? What's he going to start doing after he has no arms? So we're, of course, obviously, we're going to try for the left shoulder now. We're going to try and slice some tendons. We're going to try and just get this guy out of commission so we can finish him off. So, of course, we're going to do that with our dagger here. Let's see if it hits.
Saved by flanking.
I do have advantage. I rolled a nat 1, but we have flanking advantage, so it's actually a 22, which is a hit. Still no sneak attack damage, but that's fine. We're going to go for the damage roll here. 6 piercing damage. That's a max roll on the damage. Let's go. That has to take this dude's left arm out. Let's see what happens.
That is monstrous. Yeah, you aim very specifically. Now, normally this wouldn't be a big deal. It's a strong hit. It's a great hit, but he's facing me. You know, he has no regard for himself, and so you go in. The scimitar drops to the ground as you've immobilized his left arm. There's no attacks left now. The individual has been completely incapacitated in terms of attack, and all they can do now is shout profanity at us.
No,
there's nothing. Yes, yes. Which I won't repeat because I don't need that on my conscience. So, what we have got here is my turn. I'm hanging on. I'm doing all right. I'm living on a prayer, but I am not out of it yet. I am determined to make this bandit leader pay. He has wronged me, and this will be for the last time. We're gonna go for another booming blade into the rapier.
Boom. 5 big booms.
I was like, this is the part where we roll the rapier. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Okay, that's a hit.
Yeah, 24 with our flanking advantage. That's nearly a critical roll for me. That was one off. It's a 19, so that's a good look. 6 damage, making a pretty good dent. I'm over here just like shooting fish in a barrel because there's nothing the bandit captain can do to hurt me. You know, he has no arms that are of use, and so I mean I could just headbutt him if I wanted. What's he gonna do? Headbutt me back? Probably, because that's what he's gonna do to you.
Oh, to me?
Well, yeah, you've immobilized both of his arms.
I have done that. He's got to be mad about that.
He's gonna go ahead and make a strength roll on this for you.
Okay.
He rolls a 17. Does that hit?
That hits. Uh-oh.
All right, so since this is just a simple check, we're going to roll a d4. See how this goes.
D4, okay. And he gets a max roll. Of course he does.
4 damage. Are you
All
still up?
Yeah, I'm still up. I have a decent amount of health, actually, at level 2. So.
Okay, cool. Whew,
so I'm still good for now.
I am hurting over here. With 1 hit point left.
How's the bandit leader looking here?
The bandit leader is definitely bloodied, looking haggard, panting heavily. So.
Okay, so maybe 1 or 2 more hits if we can finish him off. Let's try.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see what you've got here. The bandit leader is now facing you.
So he is facing me. I'm gonna go for a dirty shot. I'm a rogue, right? Who needs the daggers anyway? I'm gonna kick him right in his crotch. I'm not sure how we roll for that, but that's what I want to try and do.
I feel like that would be something that's like an agile motion, you know, because they're usually pretty adept. So go ahead and roll me a dexterity check.
Dex check. Got it. Here we go. Boom. Bad rolls. Oh, really bad rolls. A 2 and a 4. Plus the modifier.
Yeah, it comes out to a 6 and a 4, so even with the advantage. This man has his pride and joy locked up like true love. There is no way you're getting in there. You go to kick, and you should feel lucky you didn't break your shin on those balls of steel.
Oh, no. Okay. Ooh. Well, that's disappointing. If I disengage here, that kind of just like serves you up on a silver platter, and you're not doing so hot. So I think I just gotta stand here, grit my teeth, and just, you know, hit him with a growl. You know, I'm not gonna do the growl into the mic, but just imagine me growling at a bandit leader here. You know,
no, we need the audio clip. Hold on.
I don't know if I can grab it.
That's the one right there.
You know, just
he
a battle.
Stares you dead in the eyes and roars loudly. It shakes you to the core.
Okay. Scared. I'm gonna end my turn.
You know, like in Shrek, where he like screams to get out of the swamp, and there's like spit everywhere.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yikes. I'm just a villager in this scenario.
All right, let me see what I can do. All right, we have got...
Let's see.
All right, yep. We're going to go for the booming blade into the rapier. Such is level 2 combat, but this is a pretty tough encounter, so we'll have to see if we make it out of this. What happens from this?
Oh, nat 20. And that's your second crit this battle. That's crazy.
Yeah, we are rolling in the crits. So, I guess I probably should have specified how I'm going here. So, exactly where you had stabbed the bandit leader in the neck, that's where I go to stab. Where I had previously cauterized with my poor burning hands roll.
Yeah, you helped him.
I go for that. So I swing with the rapier instead of stabbing. It's blunt trauma as it hits the neck of the bandit leader, and tendrils start to just rip in the skin, and his head's hanging half on, and there's a bit of drool coming out of his face, and you're unsure if that's from when he was yelling at you or if the individual's not doing so hot, but their head's on a swivel tilted to the side, and that jarring maneuver is going to prevent them from taking their turn. Why don't you go ahead and see what you can do with that head that's barely hanging on?
Well, we're going to try and remove it completely. Obviously. We've got the dagger here. We're chopping this thing off, dude. Dagger roll straight into it. Show me the money here. Bad rolls. Yeah, we're going to attempt to slash his throat, and it's not going to happen. We got a 9 and a nat 1, which is a 5, so. Unfortunately, neither hit here. Knowing that Darren is going to attack, though, I'm going to stand firm, stand tall, and hope that Darren can bring it home, because I could not.
So from your wild miss with the dagger, you go to thrust into him, and you manage to land your dagger in between where his side and his arm is, and he starts to fall forward onto you, pinning you on the ground.
Great. Nice.
Go ahead and make a dexterity save and see if you can avoid being fallen on.
Let's see. Okay, roll's coming here. 14.
Okay, that's pretty good. You dodge out of the way, and instead you end up, your foot's out, and so he trips onto the ground. And there's not much movement. So why don't you go ahead and take another chance at him?
Oh, extra attack. Let's finish him off. Obviously, this whole thing having happened just recently. He's on the ground. I'm going to jump over top of him. I'm going to try to drive my dagger into the back of his skull here. Man, this podcast I thought was PG. It's really getting PG-13 here, but that's okay. Dagger roll here. 13? Does that hit?
Your dagger goes forward into his skull as you glance and lop off his ear. And you miss your target.
Okay. Great. Darren, please save us. Please finish.
I'll come over and gently push you out of the way, and I will carefully position my dagger right where his brain is.
Okay.
And I will go in for a booming blade. My rapier ignites.
Ooh.
And we'll see what we get.
Let's see what we get.
There's no way. So I got a natural 1. So as I proceed to stab my rapier into the ground, and I'm unable to get it out, it's stuck there for now. So I'm going to spend some time trying to get that out. The bandit captain is going to kind of wriggle on the ground, not really be able to do much, but he's going to flip onto his back. And he's going to go ahead and kick you since you're standing nearby.
Oh, great. Very cool.
Fighting until the last breath. So we're going to have him roll. You're pretty quick, so he's going to try to do a dexterity for this kick.
Let's see what he's got.
Ooh, a 9.
9 ain't touching me, boy. No, sir.
Okay. So instead of kicking, he just kind of flails around on the ground, and it's pretty sad, to be honest. Can you just put him out of his misery?
I'm going to try. I'm going to try my absolute best. So, I tried to stab him from the back in the head. Didn't work. He's now rolled over. And at this point, I'm just desperate for the fight to end. So I'm just going to aim at the bigger part of his body, the torso, and hope that I don't miss here. So another dagger stab coming in. Here's the roll. 21. That has to hit.
Actually, with him being on the ground, his armor class works a little bit differently. So what I mean to say is, how do you want to do this?
Oh, yeah. We're driving the dagger straight into his heart. We're standing over top of him. We're looking him in the eyes. And we're saying, "Stay out of my tavern, sir."
You do that. You end with a sir. Very eloquently. You have a pinky up on your dagger as you say so.
Yes.
So ends the bandit captain.
Woo!
Barely made it out of that alive, but that's the last we'll see of him. That just leaves his cronies encircling us. Stand aside. Glowing wings sprout from the back of our savior. His eyes become radiant pools of sunlight. We start to feel uneasy, but based on the bandits, it's nothing. Many of their horses startle, throwing them to the ground. They all scramble to leave in a hurry at this display. He breathes deeply and sighs as he reverts back to normal. The world begins to spin as the potion wears off. The last thing we hear is a resounding thud. The first thing we see when we open our eyes is somewhere new. An infirmary of sorts. Oh, good. You're awake. It's been 12 days. What a tired lot you've been. That little elixir is potent stuff. Consequences, am I right? Let me be the first to welcome you to the Gilded Bastion. I'm the guild leader, Roderick. And that's where we'll leave it off until the next season. We tied up a loose end with that bandit leader, but I doubt he has enough political presence to imprison us, so I wonder if there's something bigger operating in the shadows. Why did the Gilded Bastion choose to save us? You'll have to tune in next season to find out. So what we have here, 8 episodes cram-packed full of storytelling, twists, deceit, brews, and adventure. We hope you'll join us for the next season, where we will likely end up even more off the rails. Troy, what do they have forward to look to on the next season?
You know, that's a good question, but I think actually I'm the wrong one to ask here. For Season 2, we're going to be swapping the episode order so that, Darren, you're going to be doing the intro and I'll be doing Season 2's finale. So why don't you tell us what's going to be going on next season?
You know what? That's a great idea. We're going to start it off the best way that we know how. In the tavern with the lore dump. That's right. All these new loose ends that we found, all these new things about the Gilded Bastion, those will all be explained in episode 1 of season 2. We hope to see you there.
All right. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on socials at Sips and Side Quests to be notified when our next release lands to find out more. Leave a comment to let us know how we're doing and drop a like for some easy experience points. This has been Troy.
And this has been Darren. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you right back here next time for yet another adventure.